I've loved it when I can take feedback from you.
I've loved it when you can take feedback from me too.
This guy.
You're gonna have to endure sometimes some situations that are like in the holidays, right? Like they're presented as blessings, but you're gonna have to go to families' places that are going to cause you to get either overwhelmed or agitated or triggered. And this is if your family. This is if you're so blessed. This is if you're so blessed that your family's still alive. This is if you're so blessed that your family has a house to all gather at. Someone has enough space to harbor you guys. This is if you're so blessed as if there's that fucking buffet line of food that everyone gets together for. Like, then if you're at the top of that I made it as a human mountain, you still have to worry about self-regulation because it's a lot to handle.
And I think there is a lie that there's like families that get together and don't piss each other off. Been mean to me since I got here.
Have I?
Have you?
I feel like you've been a little harsh with me.
Really?
I think just generally when you come back from the yoga studio and I'm being like the nutcase producer I am in general, we're like not in the same pocket.
Yeah, I definitely didn't feel like I was being rude or anything to you.
Sharp. I feel like Rob has been commenting on it. He's like, you're not doing anything till your wife tells you.
I think that Winnie's depressed and she's reevaluating her life and changing from a young, attractive woman who could get away with anything to being a woman. But how do people interpret you now?
Holy fuck!
That's a really rough change.
Thank you.
Plus you have this occasional people who come around and say, you have a baby, which is just an add-on. But the whole thing is, your persona as being this vivacious 25-year-old is now, they don't want me anymore because I'm a okay 35-year-old. And that, I mean, what the fuck?
That's
what
a
the
lot.
Fuck? It's really that you nailed it. Honestly,
Holy
you nailed
shit.
it.
That's what I think Winnie's doing.
I was depressed this
Rob,
week.
you're so perceptive.
You just roll.
I just roll.
You just roll.
It's so good to be seen by you, Rob. See, we start the podcast episode with hanging with you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone has a hard time, like a lot of women do. But I was, told that I was pretty, and that was one of my main values
When you were
growing
8
up.
years old.
Yeah,
And that's an attractive woman has difficulty with that.
absolutely.
20 years you're told that, and then all of a sudden,
I'm honest about it, but I'm not making it up when I tell people that my fine lines and stuff make me uncomfortable because there is a belief system in me that thinks that I am becoming less valuable as a human being as I age, which is just absolutely garbage and not
except
true.
Your chosen profession treats you that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, acting.
Yeah, it's actually happening.
That's, I think, part of the reason why I felt like comedy was like a cool, fun lane for me because it didn't revolve around what you looked like.
Welcome to the episode. Give me $5.
There's going to be a moment where I get weird by myself about my depression, guys. Just move through it with me,
Strap
okay?
in. Strap in. This is quite the... We touch on family matters during the holidays, depression.
Consumerism.
We fight a little bit. This is good shit. I get Mike Tyson on
Gift
this.
giving.
I talk about friends in jail. I talk about stepmoms, stepdads, gift giving, receiving, not enoughness, abundance.
I stuck mostly to depression.
Enjoy the show.
Thanks for watching.
Welcome to Disciplined Stoners, the gateway drug to mindfulness.
To think that we started this podcast to fight a stigma, only to uncover so much love that we realized that you can't put your energy anywhere but what you want.
Look deeper. Feel more. Tune in.
So much love. The Disciplined Stoners,
We're not here to distract ourselves.
the gateway drug to mindfulness.
We're here to learn. We're here to grow.
I appreciate you,
Love
Rob.
you.
So nice.
I had to say that about Winnie because I've been seeing it happen.
Oh my God.
I appreciate that. I feel seen.
No, thank you. Congratulations, Win.
He fucking nailed it.
Oh my God. I think that's the perfect thing to start this sesh off with is like the guidance of our homie Rob of just like observing you.
Life is a trip. Did not know I was going to age until 40. I for sure, like in my 20s, I was like, oh, you don't age until you hit 40 and then you start aging. That's what I thought.
Oh.
So to start aging at, in your sort of early to mid 30s it's just when you grow up thinking that one of your main values is what you look like. Based on so much, right? Based on, my parents saying like, thank God you're pretty for throughout my teens. And
that can be so condescending.
yeah. And
so tough.
And I would say it to people too. It's just something jokey that you throw around, but there's reality underneath that. Like
Every joke has truth.
Yeah. So honestly, I've been, I'm having a hard time aging. That's just the truth.
Are you fucked up about it a bit?
I'm fucked up about it. I told my friends. I went to
Hold
brunch.
on, you have friends? Braggart!
I went to brunch with some friends, and I told
Winnie
my friends.
prioritizes her friendships like their businesses. It's amazing. It's very impressive. Sorry, continue.
I love hanging out with my friends. And I told my friends that I have stopped looking in mirrors as often as I used to because it's not making me feel good. And when I'm here with you, like with you right now, I feel really good. And
Good.
when I'm with my friends and I'm, with people, I feel really beautiful. And then I'll catch a glimpse of myself in a glass or just walking, I'll just catch a glimpse of myself and I won't like what I see. And it doesn't correlate with how I feel. And I remember having this feeling as a young woman, actually, that same feeling in my teens when I started to get acne in my late teens. And
I remember that.
I remember feeling really beautiful. And then I would look at myself and be like, what I'm seeing isn't aligning with how I'm feeling. And then that's making me feel bad because when I see myself, I think, oh, that's not, I should be better. I should be more. It's always that.
I remember that, though, and that's kind of like part of just being like an alive, conscious being.
Yeah, well, all this to say is that I have the same issue, just 20 years later. I still am not seeing how I'm feeling.
But you're so hot.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're
so sweet. I've been really appreciating, like, how hot you think I am.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's awesome. And you're only getting hotter.
Yeah. He thinks I'm really hot. He tries to attack me on like multiple times a day.
By attack, she means...
Charge forward with lust.
Well said. Well done. Your
No, but
vocabulary is getting better. Your
Thank
spirit is landing. Your opinions are more... feel like they belong to a person and not a magazine.
We've talked about this before. I couldn't be a stand-up even 5 years ago because I didn't have any substance. I didn't have any opinions. And this is our holiday episode where we haven't even, what are we doing?
We're just seshing right now, but we're going to get
seshing.
into the holidays because Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy getting ready to go Boxing Day shopping for a lot of non-denominational celebratory folks. When I was growing up, I grew up with a lot of folks that just weren't traditional, like white Canadians. And a lot of my homies, they were Muslim or broke, and their family were just like not doing anything for the holidays. And it's always been it's my birthday on the 24th. On Christmas Eve, mix that with like a Catholic Italian family, like, well, definitely my mom's side, and then my dad's side, very like, his sisters, so my aunts would spoil me. So like Christmas was always big and it was always exciting for me, but I found myself in a social scenario where you wouldn't know. You could call someone on Christmas and it was just a Tuesday for them. So I know that I've had Christmases and birthdays where I felt like a prince. Like just the kingdom gave me all the gifts more than I could handle. I was overwhelmed and blessed, and thank you, Auntie Wendy, always made it special for me. My mom always like really had holiday spirit. Like she's probably like 1/8 Filipino. That's how much fucking Christmas spirit she has. But there's also so much pain associated with Christmas too, because there's also been Christmases where my mom wrapped small boxes of Smarties for me, you know, and like my mom has had stories that in her life that transferred over to my life in trauma because of the heartbreak that happens on Christmas from her alcoholic, abusive father.
Happy holidays.
So I'm just saying, so whether it's one side, and I just want to talk about this because this is obviously dropping around Christmas, and I want to let people know, like, you're not alone in your pain about Christmas or about this holiday. It has the most suicide rates of any other season. I think people feeling alone, as much as it's a you know, whatever you choose to say to someone, however you express this holiday, it's basically about togetherness. And I think like a lot of people, their aloneness sticks out even more because togetherness is supposed to be highlighted. And I'm friends with a lot of leaders. I'm friends with a lot of CEOs, strong people who have a lot of time where it's up to them to provide the experience. And when you're the one usually looking out for or doing the planning or building in a season like this, when everyone goes off, you know, when the employees go off to their families, and you're like, well, my life is this. And like, you know, everything's off for 2 weeks. So it's so much joy, so much love, but also can be so complex. Mix that with the innate sugar consumption. Fucking fucks your whole shit up. Sorry, I talked for so long.
I really like this topic, and I think it's cool to talk about.
Yeah, this is where my head is
and the consumption in general, because like every Christmas, it's like it wouldn't matter if I got all my shopping done in November, which is ideal, and hats off to the people that do that. Okay,
Mad respect.
but the way that I am in Christmas is that it's just like never enough.
Never
you get
enough.
caught up in the energy, especially a week out, and maybe you're, you know, drinking a little bit more, consuming a little bit more of the things that, you know, inflame us, so we're a little more agitated during that time just based on what we're taking in, and it's bullshit. Honestly, I'm so over like the world telling us
Trying
that
to
we
keep up.
have to be something.
And like, you better celebrate your anniversary or your marriage is gonna fucking, you know, fail.
Everything.
Like you're fucking pushing commercialism on me, telling me I need your thing to be whole. No, motherfucker, you need me to want your thing for your business to be whole. So you can take your Valentine's Day and force feeding me shopping addiction during Christmas, and like eating way too much on Thanksgiving to the point where your fucking belly is sore, and Easter all your fucking chocolate. You can take all this shit and fuck off. Like, because you know what? I'm not falling for the bait. Maybe I put Bailey's in my coffee all December, but that's a liberty I choose to do because it's the last month of the year.
I don't think we did that last year. I think we
I
broke
stopped
the
doing
cycle
that last year.
But my friend Julie, who passed this year,
Shout out
would
Julie.
always do a juice cleanse at the top of December and keep it going. It wasn't like a cleanse; it was more like I'm gonna really implement nutrition
Because
during
chocolate
this
is
time.
being shoved in your face only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just for me it snowballs, right? Like, ooh, one little treat, and then it's
You're
like
an
what,
addict.
and then I really am addicted to sugar, and I have a bad relationship with it, and I want to transcend that. But I definitely don't try that hard.
You're currently transcending.
I'm currently transcending that, but I don't try that hard. I could be good to try harder. But she gifts juice to people also. She'd make juice and gift it to people during December.
What a good
because
gift.
Who wants that during December, right? Yeah, she was always always looking for things that could really like benefit the body.
Bring value.
Yeah.
Wow.
We should all really think about that during Christmas time. But like, so what do you think? Do you think that people should stop, rich people who are like, oh man, I'm going to buy my 3-year-old a quad and,
Great.
It's great, right? Like that's all great. But then the pressure comes from, some people.
No, just like those of you who can't afford to buy your 3-year-old a quad, you shouldn't think less of your Christmas because you could only buy your kid a book. That's great too. Like, I think like the comparative nature gets really brutal. There's a lot of, I wanted to go positive. I wanted to go positive about the miraculous feeling about Christmas. There's always like in all these stories, like, kind of this element of if you pray hard enough, if you're good, it introduces the idea of like, I want to say mindfulness. Like, if you use affirmations, you'll have a better life. Duh. But they go, okay, because it's Christmas, because it's this season, let's look at this kind of magic. Let's give magic a chance. Mm-hmm. Right? So I love that. But to bring it back to consumerism and that pressure that people feel when maybe I grew up with my closest pals growing up. I remember one Christmas right now, I think it was like grade 6 or grade 7, I got like a PlayStation 2 and like had the couple head-to-toe outfits, right? But my mom did the thing. I had a single mom who was very passionate and horrible with money, so she would overspend. She still does. Like, she just like lays out way too much. She'd take me shopping for my birthday on December 7th till December 20th and just like shop every day. Like, she missed rent in January for sure most years.
I just have to interrupt quickly and say that your reactions to gifts are almost worth going into debt for.
I feel bad because I feel like I manipulate people to want to give me gifts.
People love giving this guy gifts. I love giving you gifts.
I can't control my body. I can't control it.
He gets the most excited. And it's not.
It's the thoughtfulness too. It's the person thinking of me this way. It's like if you gave me a phone or a computer or something, it's not like, wow, I now have this like $1,000 thing. It's like, this person wants me to succeed that much. Like, that means so much to me.
But you have it with everything. Like, I remember for a while I was getting just a real kick out of bringing like a chocolate bar home and hiding it and then putting it somewhere where he would find it. Like, I wouldn't present it to him. Like, it would just be on the counter and he'd be like, what is that? Like, we'd be high as fuck at like midnight and you'd be like, what? How did that get here?
All of a sudden from the kitchen she'd hear, ah!
Yeah.
So,
like, I mean, if I had you, if our child, our unborn child is anything like that, I'll want to spend money too.
Go nuts
Damn.
too, right? So that's cool, and that's like, I guess, in one way, it pushes parents to make more money, or like it. I agree with the abundance. I'm not sure about the Kanye West direction there though, and that means like early Kanye. He's like, I used to stand online and like those Margielas made me go into debt. Like, as soon as he got his advance, he spent it all on clothes. And it's like, if you're in the right mind state, that can manifest more abundance. But I think often people, they don't. They get into debt, they fuck up, and then they start this new year that they're supposed to feel like on top of with like a little heaviness. But what I was saying before about that comparative shit is, I guess I hate the term less fortunate, but like some of my friends, they got
lower income,
the clothes that their parents couldn't usually afford to get them. Christmas was the splurge. Like, Christmas was the time to get things for people who didn't often get things. Right. Like, it's like, you come over to my place and, like I said, some years were a lot of tears, or there's not, but you got to find the spirit. It can't be about the things, but it's very much when you're a kid, neighborhood wise, like, if there's not cheer going on at your house, then you're gonna kind of wander the neighborhood. So me with the single mom and the homies that sometimes had that circumstance, they'd end up coming through on Christmas. And there was always this little bit of like, oh, I wish she had this too. Like, even though like my mom may have been like, we didn't, she spent all the cash on the shit she bought me. But, we'd have, the ham and the turkey or whatever, and it's like, fuck, like I was extremely, extremely blessed in like those circumstances. So we'd always try to give. But I would always feel kind of sad because then my homies knew it too, right? Like they were like, damn, like I didn't get no like PlayStation. Like I got my Zeller's pants I asked for when I started the school year finally in December. And it's like, damn, like it's complex, yo. Like
it really is.
But then to them, it's like that was still a blessing. But then you look at where some folks, how that affects them, and what they end up feeling like if you feel like you're not enough or something, it can really turn you into a rebellious, So we always want to remember the spirit of the holidays is like one about the miracle of kindness. Right? It's about the miracle of kindness. The gift giving is like, what? You're going to give me something out of the kindness of your heart with like no expectation? Like that's a gift giving kind of energy that we can keep year round, and it's just like abundant. But it's like the good intention is like, yeah, let's raise your spirits. Like let's raise your spirits with some shit. Like, when I walk around and give someone a joint I don't know, it raises their spirits. You can see it. When you put that chocolate bar, it raised my spirit. So, like, it does work, But it's interesting. How was your experience as a kid? Did you ever have any black and white? You always had an all right Christmas, hey? You and your brother and your mom?
I was very, very blessed. I never felt like I was... I asked for gifts and I got them. I've never like asked for extreme things in my opinion, but like honestly, the older I get, the more I'm like, wow, my parents did a really good job. Like I have my shit that I'm sure that I've talked about on here, but like what I love about holidays is the food. So that's really where my empathy lies, is when, there's not enough food. But like the holiday, if holidays didn't have any presents, like if that wasn't so societally like agreed upon.
Like when you see a little kid and it's Christmas coming up, you ask them like, what are you asking Santa for? Mm-hmm. It's like, how did that?
Yeah.
Like, good job, fucking Oscar Mayer. Like, whoever implanted that shit in our fucking matrix is selling.
Yeah. But I do, and it's the stories too, right? Like my family has an antique The Night Before Christmas story.
And her dad reads it every year to the family. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, and every Christmas Eve, which is your birthday, he'll read it, and eventually it'll go to my brother and he'll read it. And then I'll probably go to little baby nephew. And it tells the story of Santa Claus coming down the chimney and giving gifts.
Oh, do you think it's going to stay in the Clarks? That book?
Yeah, I do.
You think it's going to go to Rhett?
Yeah.
Fuck you guys. I'm coming out. I'm coming for you, book. I know I'm the fucking outlier in your family, but I'm fucking coming for your book, Jim.
It's a really beautiful antique book. It's taped together.
I'm from
so
BC,
old.
bro.
And
the book's from BC. I'm from BC. The book wants to be with me.
Honestly, my brother would probably give it to us if we were really like, can we? But it just makes sense that it goes to my brother. He had kids first.
The older bro of the Clark family,
if
Hondo
he
P
doesn't
makes
want
sense.
to read the book, however, I'll be like, well, then I'll take the book and I'll do the reading.
And it's going to be
or
Winnie.
you can
it's
do
going to
the
be
reading.
Winnie. It's going to be.
You can do the reading.
No, it's true. I'm kind of outside of it.
Very interesting, traditional though. Oh, the man. I said what happened in my family.
But But we were just saying that the hierarchy is like the patriarchy of like who's the man, who's the oldest man. It's basically who's the alpha.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, who's the oldest man? And I've learned so much about alpha recently. Like, it's not like the loud front one. The alpha is the one who hangs in the back, makes sure everyone's okay, pays the bill, usually keeps his mouth shut, usually owns everything.
Stab someone if necessary, but only right at the end of the situation.
Only right at the end. Usually just not even the one fighting. The actual alpha is not even the one fighting. I don't have time for this.
I would like if we're talking about our family and like when we potentially grow our family, which is still on the table, folks. I would like.
I'm gonna pop one in there soon.
I'd like to be less gift orientated.
Oh, for sure. I'd like to be like more like, what do you want now in life anyway? And it's like the middle of August, and I'm just like, do you want a bike? Or like, sure, let's go get you a bike. But then like Christmas comes and it's like, yo, let's go make sandwiches and hand them out. It's about giving.
Yeah.
And then of course, I'm gonna want to get like, I feel it, like I'm gonna want to get my kids stuff.
I want to get my niece and nephew stuff all the time.
So imagine like times that by 10
Yeah.
for your own kid. You're just like, did they look at anything for a little bit longer in the toy store or whatever store they're in? Like that thing is gonna be in our house.
I think we said this, but my nephew, I got him a Blue Jays hoodie, and it was
from
a nice
the stadium,
hoodie.
from the stadium, like any adult that understands, like
It was a nice hoodie.
this is good shit.
And he loves the Blue Jays, so I thought he would be stoked on it. And he opened it up, and I was like, this kid's going to love this. And he looks at it, and he goes, oh, a shut. And then he, like, drops it and walks away. And my brother's like, you don't do that. Like, you say, what do you say when someone gives you a gift?
It was so funny. I gotta do it the way he actually said it. A shit.
Yeah.
It was so good.
so
It was
cute.
so animated. A shit.
And that's what's great about kids, too.
They don't
right?
lie.
Like, they don't, yeah. It's so funny that we start adhering to these acceptable things even as Canadians, like, oh, I'm going to treat you manners. And what I think is mannerly is what you'll learn. But like, yeah.
like controlling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we are like, okay, there's a time to be honest, I think. And that's not all the time. Like, you can't present, someone who's having a tantrum when you walk into a meeting at your job. Like, you can't be that person. I'm sorry if you're feeling, but like,
Gotta suck it up, princess.
either suck it up or separate yourself and go take care of your needs.
Well, that's been a
like-
good thing for me to learn. Is just like when you're getting overwhelmed, or what do we call it?
Highly stimulated.
Highly stimulated, and you're like, a little autistic, and you're like, and what's the thing I have to do? I have to go regulate.
Regulate.
I have to go regulate myself, and like pull yourself from like the general momentum.
Maybe that's cool to tie into this. Maybe all of us need to, through the month of
Self-regulate.
December, really put our regulation at the
Hats on.
forefront of our priorities.
Put your regulation hats on.
Because, yeah,
Self-regulate. Like, if you got to go like pretend to take a shit and just like sit on the toilet and meditate for like 4 minutes before you go back out into the party, that's good. You should do that.
yeah. Or
And-
if you need to, like, go outside and hug a tree or leave your dinner party and just, like, huff into a pillow in your bedroom for 5 counts.
Yeah.
you know?
Huffing is good. Make sure to breathe. Winnie tried to hold my hand yesterday when I was having a bit of a meltdown. I canceled the invoice or something like that and just like have too much anxiety around like dealing with money because I need an accountant. Holler at your boy. It's like, I was like, fuck, what the fuck did I do? What the fuck did I do? And she's like, grab my hand. I grab her hand and I have this harsh sensation in my body. It hasn't gone yet. I just feel myself starting to like bend her hand. I let go because I'm like, I'm gonna hurt this person. Like, it's like I like get so much like come through my body. It's like I'm used to hitting myself, and because there's so much feeling when I hit myself, that pain like releases that energy through, or like stops you and like shocks you and like gets you out of it. And it's like, but I refuse to keep, like, you can't be a man out here hitting yourself in the face. Like,
It's just ultimately a waste of time.
it's a waste of time. And it's a waste of energy, and I have a beautiful face, and I just need to be kind to myself and like not get such a rush out of such a negative sensation. So I refuse to hit myself now. So the feeling needs somewhere to go, and it's like even if someone's trying to help you, it's like you will hurt them. Don't depend on anyone else. Like in that situation, I was gonna bend your hand. Like I'm really don't want to hurt anyone physically, but also like you will hurt. You will say something. It's not safe to let people in when you're not well. So like you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. And I remember like dinner parties, Christmas things. I grew up in like split families, like and split families. Like you're gonna have to endure sometimes some situations that are like in the holidays, right? Like they're presented as blessings, but you're gonna have to go to families' places that are going to cause you to get either overwhelmed or agitated or triggered. And this is if your family, this is if you're so blessed that your family's still alive. This is if you're so blessed that your family has a house to all gather at. Someone has enough space to harbor you guys. This is if you're so blessed as if there's that fucking buffet line of food that everyone gets together for. Like then if you're at the top of that I made it as a human mountain, you still have to worry about self-regulation because it's a lot to handle.
And I think there is a lie that there's like families that get together and don't piss each other off. I don't think that actually exists. The more like I talk to friends, the more I realize like, oh wow, family is just so complex. And like if your family is even just like okay with each other, like you're probably ahead of the curve. Like I visited my family a few months ago and we were all walking out of swimming lessons together. And I was looking at this beautiful family and I was thinking, wow, like we all love each other.
Yeah.
That's feels rare.
Like your family?
Yeah.
Like you guys, like it's not very expressive. Like there's not a lot of like, hey, I love you verbally, but like
I would say it's quite verbally expressive, but there's like action and engagement.
I guess your parents. I'm more so I love your brother so much. Like he keeps it G.
Yeah.
He keeps it G is all. Like I'm just saying it's like, but I'll tell you something. If you ever needed anything. I couldn't think of
if you ever needed anything at this point.
I'll fight a dragon for you, but I couldn't think of anyone else who like
I know.
You're just good. Like, your brother is a stand-up man. Holy.
I agree. And I messaged him the other day, and I was like, hey, like, I'm really proud of you, and I love you, or whatever, and I don't say it enough. And he literally wrote me back, are you okay? That's what he wrote.
He's such a G. Just keeps it G. And it's not flagrant G. He's just, like, very grounded, like, Like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, let me make sure that you don't need to be taken care of before I respond to this compliment, basically.
The kindest.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So, but even
still,
there are triggers and there are things that will go on during the Christmas season, even if you have a family that loves each other.
You can't agree. Do you hear us? We agree on nothing, but we're still together. Like, it's like you're going to get pushed. You may not get deeply triggered like some families do where it erupts into a big fight, but you're going to be like,
you're going to have to...
You live in a different world than me.
Yeah.
How could you not have a belief that's different? Because you've built a different world. Thank God you've built a different world. It's good that we have different experiences.
Mm-hmm. We've solved Christmas.
Finally, someone had to do it. You're welcome. Pardon me. Blueberry Gas, Master Tokes. Shout out to homies. This is dropping in Christmas. So we know that it's possibly cold where you are. How are you dealing with that? Put it in the comments.
I'll tell you.
We're curious because
I'm not dealing well with it.
We don't fuck with cold.
And it's so funny every year. Toronto has the most beautiful summers. We've talked about it.
World class.
We love Toronto in the summer. When we leave Toronto, we will be back for Toronto summers at some point because
1,000%.
It's magic here. There is a vibe like no other. And
It feels like a big orgy of energy.
Yeah, it's
Everyone's
awesome.
like this fucking
Yeah, and
you're out.
happy,
Yeah.
vibey, and great falls too. It moves into fall. It gets really cozy. People start getting super into their fall fashion. We got the pumpkin spice lattes. So mentally, you're like, okay, for me, anyways, I'm just describing how my seasonal depression occurs.
Yeah.
Mentally, for me, I'm like, awesome. I can handle this. There's still some nice days, especially during that 1 to 3 p.m. mark where you can go
Fall?
out, get some sun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really not so bad. And then at some point, we take a harsh turn into cold. And every fucking year I get depressed. And
Immediately.
I don't get depressed very often anymore. So when I do get depressed, it feels kind of foreign now because it doesn't happen very often. And I used to be able to, a couple years ago when it was more consistent, I used to be able to identify it actually faster as I was sort of diving into the depression.
How do you not take yourself seriously while you're in depression?
It's bizarre. It happens so slowly over the course of time, like over the course of a few days, but you think it's just a bad day at first. That's why it really gets you. I wrote a short film about this like 7 years ago, but you really just think, oh, I'm just having a bad day. And then you wake up and you feel worse, but not too much worse that you're concerned about it. You got shit to do. You're a human. And then at some point, your body gets really heavy and
Oh, that shit takes over physiologically.
for me, yeah, what happens is like my psyche or something leaves and I'm sort of just a body moving in space.
Because you are responding like an animal.
Like an injured animal.
Yeah, like myself included. Like when I'm in anger, like everyone needs to leave. Like I'll go through you. Like whether you're 500 pounds or 50 pounds, I really can't control what the animal does. And that's my work here. And the more I learn to channel my anger, focus my energy, or avoid anger altogether, the better my bag gets, the better my career gets, the better my relationships get. Bag
I wonder,
means money.
is-
means money. So
Do you
it's internal turbulence.
When you say avoid it altogether, can you expand on that? Do you
I
push-
changed. I know I changed the channel. There's no pushing against. Like meaning, I went and worked out the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like a fit was coming on. Like
Yep.
a fit was coming on, and I was like, this is so fucking bullshit. Like I felt this state starting to like take over, and then I was just like, I'm just like, this is so bullshit. Like this is such a bullshit cycle I'm in,
Yeah.
and like I feel like hurting myself or others, and it's just like unnecessary bullshit. And I went to the gym, so I changed the channel, so I avoided everything.
Sitting in it.
Everything reactive I was going to say to you, everything hurtful I was going to do to myself. And remember, guys, violence starts in thought. So before I say anything or hit anyone or hit myself, any surface area of my own beautiful body, it's the thoughts. Like I'm thinking really violent, graphic, angry thoughts, and I'm thinking about, oh, that person doesn't care about me anyway. Oh, that person wants to see me fail. Oh, that person wants to take this from me. Oh, let them choose that person over me. I'm thinking all this like aggressive, it's self-implicated violence just through thought. So one thing leads to another, and Abraham Hicks says 17 seconds to hold the thought, and it duplicates and other thoughts gravitate towards it as a good thought. Same thing with bad thoughts. Another one joins it, and now you got the weight of two things. You're holding only a 1 pound weight. You're like, it's just a bad thought. I'm not going to take it seriously. I'm going to hold this 1 pound weight, and it's fine. I'm just going to be angry for a bit. 17 seconds, that's a 2 pound weight. 34 seconds more, or you know what I mean? Like, stack. All of a sudden, you're trying to, now you can't help it. You're in a bad way. And you got to let that state go through before.
You gotta ride that shit out.
Because you can't, there's no, oh, no, I wish I went back. The spiral's done.
Yeah.
The spiral's done. There's no take backs. So it's learning for the next time. Mm-hmm. So, like, this time I'm just, like, kind of refusing to taking my shitty self so seriously. Like, I'm like, you're a little bitch. You know what I mean? Like, you're just being a little bitch right now. Like, you're fucking angry. Good thing that person isn't here, because you think it's cool to, like, beat the shit out of them right now in your head, but, like, that means, like, they're gonna call the cops on you. Like, you're an idiot. Like, everything you're saying right now, you're not gonna do. You're an idiot. Like, you know, so it's passing and fleeting, and I'm just more and more, like, refusing to take that so seriously.
So I'm definitely not there yet. Awesome. Congrats. But I am at the place where I can call it out a bit. Like the other morning I was huffing around and you were like, what's wrong? And I said, I'm having a tantrum. And I felt like that was progress.
That was definitely
for me
progress.
in that moment, because I could at least identify that, like, this is what is happening. Like, I'm not going to try and justify my feelings at all. I'm
great.
telling you, like, I'm having a tantrum. And
because 4 days before, she was like, I just want to go on vacation with my family. It's bullshit. It's 4 days before. And then, so it's very big progress in the same week to still just say, like, I'm having a tantrum.
That was the beginning of the depression, right? So going back is I left after that. I retreated and I went to, I acted like an injured animal, and I decided not to take responsibility for being an adult for probably like 48 hours after that.
She screamed at me so good in the morning. It reminded me of when I was a kid. My mom used to just get in horrible ways, especially when she was hungover. And before I'd go to school, she just, like, tear strips off me. And I used to walk to school with, like, a adrenaline pumping heart. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't felt like this.
And it's all expectation. Like, man, depression is, it's so, I'm actually glad that I went through it, because it was life being like, hey, remember what hell feels like? Like, you don't have to do that. And it takes a while. Like, it took me a while to get up out of it. And when you're in it, man, it's just like, I feel, I wrote it down. When I stop crying is when I get scared. Because I really stop feeling. That's when you enter the part of the depression where you go numb and you become a bit of a dick, because you don't care about other people's feelings. You can't. There's no capacity. You don't care about your own feelings. That's where you stop taking care of yourself. I found it hard to pour myself a glass of water to eat, sort of your basic needs. And I forgot. I haven't been in that state in so long that I forgot what it felt like. And it's like, it's interesting because it's not nearly as bad as people's depression, I've heard people in months and years of depression, and mine never lasted that long. I think I had a 2-week bender one time. That was like my longest state. But usually it's between 24 and 96 hours, I would say. And this one was like a solid 48. And I give up. It's awful. And even I say it's not as bad as other people's, but that doesn't minimize how like it feels when you're in it. I'm glad that I'm not in it anymore.
Oh.
But
did you tell the folks about your time?
Yeah. And I was kind of just riffing. I think I went off on a couple different tangents, but so circling
When I
back
watched
to
this back
where
when I'm editing,
this
it would have
started.
been very compelling.
Circling back to where this started was I was saying that Toronto's magic summer, fall's cool, and then it gets cold, and that's when the depression generally every year will kick in for a couple of days because I have so much resistance to change.
You're not alone. Everyone gets sadder when it gets colder.
Nope, not everyone. I know people who love chillier weather. And I think they all should live in Canada.
Yeah, Canada's perfect for you guys. You can live here.
Yeah. Why is it so hard to live other places when you weren't born there? It's ridiculous.
It's not.
Do you think that's going to change?
It's not. It's your belief.
Do you think that there will be some type of global community?
I think the one I'm trying to be formed right now is pretty led by evil, Klaus Schwab.
Klaus.
Because they want to make
Klaus
sure
Schwab.
everyone's complying. And you have to listen to the world army. And you have to take the experimental shots. You have to listen to us and let us destroy you as a humanity if we want to. But the global citizen is a mentality. I've met a bunch of people who don't share our limiting beliefs, who just go do things. And I'm like, how'd you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I moved there, and then the paperwork happened once I was there. Like, yes, there's like, I'm probably the other end of the spectrum to Winnie, where it's like, I'm going to go, and if something doesn't work, I'm going to buy a scooter and drive it across 4 states. Like, I am a hippie nutcase. I'm also privileged because I'm a man, a white man. Like, I cannot be scared. Mainly wherever I go, I'll give that awareness. I'm in a very privileged position where I'm very fearless. And Winnie's quite the opposite. Winnie will buy a premium ticket and then like ask permission to stand in general admission.
I'm risk adverse.
She's like, she's like, I bought VIP, but I'll just shrink, and if kind bouncer, if I can sit on the floor in general admission, I'll be so grateful, and I'll give you some more. Like, you're the opposite of me. You're like, permission. You're like, someone can give you permission, you'll still wait. Like, it's crazy. It's so cute. It's so safe. But it's like we're on the other ends of the spectrum. There are healthy people who are in the middle, and I see them when I'm on, like, when I get booked on cool shows that I didn't put together because I'm not that type of smart producer, but like if I get the luxury of being flown somewhere and performing, there's a frequency. There's a, if you go to the Soho House, if you go to the lounges and airports, if you go to venues before there's a show there, if you go to studio, there's a type of person who's always moving. There's a global citizen, and they'll get their green card for this country, and they'll have status here, and they'll have their Nexus card figured out, even though they've been arrested. Like, how did you do this? Why do you mean you're DJing in Bali this weekend? You live here in New York, though. You're Canadian. Don't understand, you know? It's like, you have awesome parents. Like, you weren't given limiting beliefs. You know, and that's what I feel. So, like, I'm just saying, from people I've met, we could be doing whatever the fuck we want. You have limiting beliefs. And I have beliefs that you're not even, like, worth the planning. You know? Like, I better go risk it and show up because I'm not even worth it on paper.
Yeah.
So that's my, like, I
you
limiting,
definitely have limiting beliefs.
Of course, we both do, but yours are up here. Yours are like, the magic and miracle doesn't exist. I have to plan. Well, not quite doesn't exist, but it may exist, but I better have a solid plan, and I better have to see these blocks through in my head before I go, or else it doesn't, or else this trip doesn't happen. For me, I'm like, I'm 100% in the improv basket.
I know.
Where I'm just like, I'm going to show up somewhere with no plans, and somehow it will have a miraculous outcome, and it does. But you got to move like me in order for that miracle to happen.
And you're just like a little bit sharp when you're moving and shaking.
It's very sharp. It's not a little bit sharp. It's like shing, shing, shing,
So
shing,
to
shing.
be like a travel partner, like this guy's like, let's go away, whatever, December 7th to 12th. Let's go to the airport and see what's available. And I'm like, fuck that. That sounds horrible to me. And then when we get to this available place that's probably fucking like, I don't know, like nowhere in Delaware.
Why are you so pessimistic? Delaware's amazing. My company is in Delaware, bro.
We all
I
know
love Delaware.
that I could use more of your spontaneity and you could use more of my focus.
Planning.
It's
skill. I think they're both skills.
You think spontaneity is a skill?
Yeah? I mean,
But I think that you find spontaneity easier.
For sure. I think for some it's innate, just like fighting. Like some people are very good technical fighters because it's not innate.
In your head, you're like, hey, showing up to the airport is a lot easier than going online, looking at flights, trying to figure out. And so you're just like, let's do the easy route. But
I'm more confident in my ability to make a good time anywhere, no matter the circumstance, than I am my ability to choose, pick, and plan.
That's true when you're with you and by yourself. When we're in a duo here, it's just not true. I'm trying to be better at it. Well, I went to Fort Worth. Remember Lake Worth?
Yeah.
We spent a whole day. Our friends were like, do you want to come here with us? And we were like, and I was like, yes. I was a yes man on that adventure.
I recall that. I do recall that. We were with Fabe. Shout out Fabe. And I think it was helpful that Fabe has his girl.
Yeah.
Rachel, right? That like you could see.
But now next time I'm going to be freestyling with you, Fabe.
Yeah, totally. And I think we just learn more and more step by step that, oh, we could have did that like adults. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we could rent a car as soon as we touch down somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, we're just learning step by step. Like, I thugged it out a lot in my 20s of just, like, crashing on couches, like, getting the cheapest flights wherever, busing places. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll go. Spandy Annie invited me to do Playlist Live. The first year he invited like 4 people, and then the next year is like just me. And then like that first year I remember sleeping on like the cot in like the front of the hotel, like near the door. And I just didn't care.
Did we get our own room when I came to Playlist, or were we sharing a room still?
I think we shared the room with Kimmy and Spandy.
Oh, that's so nice of them.
I know, man. Spandy, like, I'll forever give Spandy credit for, like, basically bringing me in this bitch.
Yeah, when you're like, hey, come and sleep and probably fart in my space.
Spandy's the bro, man. And, like, I was always cool, though. I always knew when to dip. Like, him and his girl, when I was there alone, you know, I knew they wanted to have their time. So, for me, it's like a home base. Same respect you give when someone invites you to, like, stay at their place when you're in that city, right? It doesn't mean they want you around 24/7. Use this staying as a home base. Your bags, your rest at night. Get the fuck out and go for breakfast. Go for breakfast. Like, you know, every time someone gives me a place to stay, I'm like, great, where are we going for breakfast?
And all of your stuff organized in one neat little corner.
Oh, hopefully they don't see it and they don't smell you.
Yeah.
They don't smell you and they don't see you. Like, air out the place, because everyone smells different.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone smells. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just like everyone smells different. Maybe they don't like your cologne. Maybe they don't like the way what you wash your clothes with or your natural sweat. Anyway, try and be a classy person for sure. But back to this being a holiday episode. Because that's a thing too, though, because you invite some people over for Christmas. You may have stinking ass cousins that come through. Seriously, have you ever had to deal with any family from other places?
Stinky family?
Not stinky, but like uncles, cousins, people from different areas in the world that your family put them up or anything. Did you guys ever do that? Because you had a house.
Yeah, we put my cousin up for a year.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and she crashed my graduating year, which was really not cool of her.
What do you mean crashed it? It was her year as well to graduate?
She graduated the year before in Holland. Then she's like, I'm going to come here for a year and graduate here too. I'm like, bitch, this is my year.
Oh, yeah, you guys don't get along.
Yeah.
Oh, Winnie has beef with someone. I forgot that.
Not my choice. And
What do you mean not your choice?
not my choice, as in, like, if there were an opening to create a relationship with her at some point, I probably would have, but it's been too long, and she made a choice, and I don't think that I would. I'd be like, yeah, it's all good. Like, if she ever apologized, but I don't think I'd be like, there should be a relationship here. It's just
You just don't agree.
yeah.
I feel the same way too. I have a couple ex-stepmoms. Isn't that a fucking wild thing to say?
That's trippy.
What the fuck is that? What is in your life? You used to live with somebody, used to kind of tell you what to do, and now you don't have to deal with them anymore? Fuck
That
you.
must be trippy for them too.
Yeah, like they used to have a stepson, and I just gotta say, I don't think I've ever made it easy for any stepmoms. My mom was so competitive and such an aggressive person. She was always in my ear, just like, no, fuck this bitch.
Who did you make it easy for?
I really liked my what you would say my stepdad at a time, Dino.
Nice.
Like, he used to take me golfing. He was like a tough East End Italian boy. His brothers were like, I don't want to say too much, but affiliates and all sorts of shit that you find really cool when you're like a longshoreman and gangsters.
In the late 90s.
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Both into it, like 99 into like till 2004 or something like that. Or like maybe 98, 2000. Anyway. Yeah, so I he was always good to me. He was always cool. It was like a strong male, like, who was always good. My dad was always a strong male and a very warm guy, grounded guy, but obviously more kind of like conservative, like wants you to stay out of trouble, whereas like Dino might drag you in the trouble. No. When I got jumped, he came and he's like, you want to go fix him up? He would just beat up like a gang of 18-year-olds. He used to fight like several guys at once and win.
Do you ever feel like you'd want to have a relationship with these people?
No, Dino, I think due to some of his behavior, isn't allowed back in Canada or at least Vancouver.
Shit.
Vancouver's
I thought you were going to say he died.
Vancouver's very controlled by authorities, and I don't mean the police. Vancouver has police. Let's say the VPD are allowed to be there. Anyway.
VPD are little bitches.
Yeah, you guys jumped my mom, bro. Gave her a black eye, wouldn't let her go to the bathroom in the holding cell. We picked her up. She's like screaming at the cops. She's like, I'm pissed all over your floor. Fuck you. Anyway, this is a good Christmas episode because you get to learn about my background a little bit. And these are just the good, delightful stories. I want to have a relationship with my stepmoms. I think I have my first stepmom as a friend on Facebook. And I bumped into her with my mom when I was like in my early 20s or something like that, or even before that, probably just before you and I went to LA the first time. And I had told her, like, yeah, I went into entertainment. And she's like, oh, I'm so surprised. Because it's like, you know, you could never really get me to fucking do anything but like listen to rap music or like fuck around or skateboard. It's like I was always going to do what I wanted to do. And she was just about dope shit. Like, hey, don't wear socks with your sandals. Like, and I was like... Baby,
Excuse
I'm a
me.
thug.
Yeah, I like that look.
No, but she's like, let your feet breathe.
Yeah.
You know, and she was the...
My dad did that too.
Yeah, but you just wanted to be cool. Both of my step females, I guess at the time, were actually ahead of the curve on a lot of shit that became cool later. Like, the second one that my dad married, like, she was early on, like, recycling and water consumption and like caring about the environment. But as a young teen, man, there's nothing I could have given a fuck less about as a young teen man. Like one time...
Especially because that was still kind of like a new concept.
I know, and I look back and I'm like, fuck. Yeah, she was onto something.
Yeah, like we definitely weren't recycling throughout my early childhood. It was
no,
all
it wasn't
garbage.
a thing. It wasn't a thing. It would like that's what I mean. Like it would like so much has just happened. Like who Neil Brennan, like sunblock. Like in our parents' age, they seen sunblock happen. Mm-hmm. Like your brother caught sunblock. Sunblock was just there when we came in the world.
There's this one scene in I can't remember what it's called. But John Hamm plays the lead in it, and it's like back in the day, and him and his wife and family go on a picnic, and they all have a picnic together, and then they're like, "That was so nice. Are you guys ready to go?" And then they all just get up and leave,
They leave all the picnic stuff there.
garbage there. Yeah.
And that's how they would do it.
Yeah.
And like someone would come up and clean that.
I guess,
and seemingly be happy with their job.
There was less people on the planet.
Yeah,
there was
everything was new.
significantly less people on the planet.
Less than half.
Less than half, yeah.
In the 50s, like a quarter or an eighth.
Like, was there a
In the
billion people in the 50s?
Probably just.
Yeah.
You know,
And now we're at 9?
8.
8.
7 point something.
But the world can handle it, maybe.
It will just, a lot of souls want to be here right now because of like what's going on. It's very unique and cool and like clear, like where we're headed in terms of like vibrational awareness, because it just has to leave matter. Like we built through matter, and now we're going to like understand more about vibration outside of things, hopefully soon. Because they say that like the pyramids for sure were built by a leveraging of magnetic energy. Like it's too precise.
And giants.
No, there was no manpower used in the building of the pyramids.
Yes, there were. They were probably like the size of a home, like tall-wise, and they were just
Where are you getting this from?
huge YouTube videos, bruh.
Okay. Is most likely from a ship over top going like zzz, 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 because they're also on the grid. They're perfectly aligned on the Earth's energetic grid to the point where like you couldn't see that unless you were above it. Like it's lined up perfectly, and pyramids used to have like gold or lime on them outside of them because it would attract the sun. And then they used the power of water and gravity basically to their power plants. Pyramids are just power plants.
And what are they powering?
Anything and everything. The civilization of Atlantis. Like, it's the energy source. Like
But
how
they
we
don't power anything now. They're just historical, right?
well, they're closed down, and that type of energetic technology isn't familiar on Earth anymore. It would be like giving an iPhone 11 to a caveman. It's like, this is just a piece of something now. It's like when we look at a pyramid, it's just like a piece of something, but it's like it used to like probably vibrate, possibly glow or irradiate some sort of energy, or when you walked in it, it was probably quite the experience for an energetic being. And a lot of the prophecies written on the inside of the walls are so meticulous, but there's no soot. So like, how did they see? So there was lights from the energy generated in the pyramid, right? There's no like soot from flames being open. So how did the artist paint? It was like there was other forms of light somehow that we just like don't have the material proof for.
Do you find knowing this information decreases existential crisis?
Yeah. Because then you can look outside of... People think that the Matrix and what they've been presented is the only option. Like, there's not 24-hour days if you don't want there to be. There's not a 12-month calendar if you don't want there to be. There's literally other calendars going on right now. The Persian calendar is different. Like,
but like
so it's just like...
everything's westernized.
Well, what year are we in exactly? It's Christianity. This is a dominated timeline of Christianity. We're just talking about Christmas. It's actually just should be called winter solstice. The whole Christmas celebration is winter solstice. It's the darkest day of the year, but we've formed some story about it that should have led to a book that taught us about the inner temple, but it's been misguided, misquoted into historical events, and now we tell stories about a white guy with a beard who was touched by the divine consciousness. It's a Christianity-led structure that is the Matrix right now.
Do you know what puts me into an existential crisis?
What?
The fact that a lot of things feel really misguided, and wrong. And there's also part of me that knows that consciousness isn't looking at anything happening on the planet right now as wrong, because we're all one. And we're doing this all to one another. Like anything you do to any person, you're doing to yourself, literally. Like I really believe that. So then I get all fucked up about being human and spirit at the same time, because I don't know what to care about almost.
Just whatever you want to care about.
Because you could literally, that's...
Just fucking have fun. Like, you can live your purpose and you can bless yourself and others at the same time. You can, like...
Bless yourself.
If you show up to a party and give everything that you had in your pantry, it's not fulfilling to see others, like, not eat it or maybe eat it. Like, maybe, like, here's a weird analogy. Like, if you give too much, or if you give out of pocket, or if you overextend yourself in energy and giving something you don't have, you're pulling from a bucket that just isn't there yet. You're pouring from your cup that isn't runneth over. But your cup is so full of joy and love, and you runneth over when you're in your purpose. Your pantry is full. The abundance is there. The quality of your energy is evermore. Like, you're just, like, available to give. And I think true alignment will allow you to be like a bottomless pit of giving. Like, and that's that's how you generate prosperity, is you are it. You don't expect it. You don't say, I'm empty, please give me. You say, I'm so full, I'm overflowing. May everything around me be overflowing. May everyone be taken care of. As soon as someone comes in our door and we hand them a big fat joint, glass of water, snacks on the table, right? What does that do to the energy?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, okay, I'm good then. So then we can have those conversations. Every brand meeting, every see if this person's right for the team, every like hangout when Paul, our friend and a guy who does videos with us, like we have our sessions and stuff. How do you think we get to the idea to shoot a slow motion intro? Like, you can't do that in a state of friction. So I think you're got to make that choice within yourself of like not always performing for others and thinking you know what they're gonna do. That's bringing everything you have out of your pantry to a potluck and it might be thrown away. Like, that's overextending. That's giving from what you don't have because you're trying to guess what they want from you. But if you're giving from I'm living my purpose, you enjoy this, I'm here to give it 100%. And it fuels me to be it,
Yeah, I don't know if anyone can live in their purpose 100% of the time, and I don't know that we're meant to.
What did JP just say?
Because what you had said about you think that like when you're in alignment, there's sort of like an infinite amount of giving, but we do need contrast.
You end up receiving. That's the special thing. But to put your focus on the expectation of receiving will draw you out of giving. So keep giving and trust me, it comes back.
But also, like, there will be a point where you fall out of that alignment, most likely. I just like keeping it real. And then...
Well, explain that a little bit then, though, because for me, I don't find that issue.
Yes, you do. Come on.
Do I?
You're telling me that you're in alignment all the time?
No. When I'm interacting with someone, I'm acting from a place of, this has to fuel my passion too. Like, of course I'm out of alignment, but that's my fucking problem. I don't often find myself having arguments with people. Like, I don't find myself getting in debates and feeling, or going to a social setting and feeling exhausted after.
No, I know.
I don't like
you
give parts of me that just aren't available anymore. Like, I just move forward in the fashion I'd like to.
Well, and again, that's probably some of your privilege, like in play, that's more accessible to you as a man.
But then, so what? You guys just go lucky me?
No, but
you don't want that?
I think a lot of people, though, that's again what we were talking about manners and stuff. It's like, I have seen you in conversation with someone walk away. And I admire it because, and we've talked about it afterwards, and there were a couple of options for you.
Here's the thing.
And you start to, get overstimulated.
No, but here's what you don't know too about that, and I love it, and I appreciate it. I'm sorry to cut you off. I love you. I want you to stay on this. I see them trembling. I think the thing that you think when you watch me, anybody, not you, but when you watch me dip from something that's just not serving me, it's not serving either of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm watching you, and you give me some information, and I have this moment with you, and we're having a nice moment, and then the person extends the time of substance, and they start to quiver. I can see them quiver. Like, the information starts coming, like, faster, and, like, they're getting uncomfortable. And I'm just like, we're done here. And I love you. I don't see you later. But, like, I give them a notion of, like, all right, I'm going to go. And, like, it's okay. Like, like, I'm not just, like, as much as a badass, I think, as you're making me out to be, but I'll always take that because of my ego. Thank you. I fucking love that. But, like, I'm still very much with them, even if I'm leaving.
Well, I will say that you have handled it. Yeah, I have seen old version of you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Be like,
bye.
Yeah.
But I also, because I feel aggressive sometimes.
Yeah.
And if I'm feeling aggressive, it's like, I don't want to say anything to this person in this aggressive way. So it's like, it's just over.
Removing yourself.
I'm checking out.
And I've seen that.
Or like, you want to talk about negative things right now? I'm barely hanging on.
Yeah.
Like, you may be able to be in this negative space, but if I am, someone's getting punched in the fucking chest. So you need to not influence me right now. Like, that's what's happening.
You need to be different.
Well, exactly,
no,
right? Instead of me saying that to them,
yeah.
I can be different.
Yeah.
I can be somewhere else
Yeah.
before you get punched in the fucking chest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be a liability.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. When I remove myself, I'm realizing I'm about to become a liability.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in that moment, circling back, you'd probably say that we're not in alignment in that moment because that just reaction.
No.
Have happened.
I'm still in alignment. The me that removes myself is still in alignment. Winnie seems to think that kindness meaning subject yourself to others in a way that sacrifices your goals or efforts or focus. I feel alignment is remaining in your truth and purpose and love as long as you're not attacking anyone else. Like, so
can I just clarify that when you say
I'm staying in alignment by leaving, I would fall out of alignment if I stayed and endured that.
okay, so you feel like a rumble of
It's about to pop.
which
it's about
way,
to go.
which way.
Yeah,
There's a fork in the road,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, I'm
not a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
If this person needs to, I'll fucking Winnie will be there for you because she doesn't have any ideas yet. But now you have substance, so you have ideas, so you can lead the combo.
So I think you are I think you are being a little bit mean.
Am I? Was
That
I just
was mean.
Did I?
That was mean what you said just now.
When I went like,
Well, when you're like, oh, go see Winnie, and she's lacking substance.
no, but you know what I'm talking about. You just said the old version of me that would dip on people. So I'm like, in our early OPP visiting years, it's like what you just before you did a lot of stand-up, you were like, I thought this was okay to talk about now. Is it not okay to say that you did lack substance?
It is okay, but it just sounds a little harsh, honestly. It sounds like when you said that, like when you watch that back, I want you to be like, look at your eyes and like how, like.
Was I mean? Was I mad?
It sounded harsh.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Maybe I'm just too sensitive.
Because she doesn't have any ideas yet. But now you have substance, so you have ideas, so you can lead the combo.
Again, I think we're not fully on the same thing, and we're kind of having a bit of a debate.
You have a little.
Mm-hmm. This often happens when our debate gets to a point where it's like, agree to disagree.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't think that you can be in alignment all the time. I don't think that growth often happens in alignment, and I think that contrast will.
Winnie will be there for you because she doesn't have any ideas yet. But now you have substance.
inspire growth, and in order to keep living and expanding, we need to grow. So I think that contrast
You
is
don't think
absolutely necessary, but how we react to those feelings when we find ourselves in contrast
Because she doesn't have any ideas yet.
can definitely be in a type of alignment for sure.
You don't think
Have any ideas yet?
you don't think
Ideas yet? Any ideas yet?
that you can grow from alignment?
Or yeah, because she doesn't have any ideas yet. But now you have substance, so you have ideas, so you can lead the combo.
So I think you are like look. I think you are.
I think that it's really easy to feel happy when everything's going well.
No, okay, but I appreciate you diving into this with me. You think alignment is environmental based, like things going well. I think alignment is being aligned internally, no matter what the external circumstances look like. You can be in alignment sitting in a drunk tank. You can be in alignment sitting on the beach. You can be in alignment in an argument. You can be in alignment playing board games with your family. You can be in alignment no matter what.
If you're in an argument and you're not agreeing with the person, then you're essentially holding what is lacking between the two of you, and you are going to 17 seconds at a time
No, not. But
walk yourself out of alignment.
so this is actually very telling, and I love you so much, but this is you revealing that circumstances control your feelings.
No, I'm just saying that
I think you are like.
there's no possibility of 100% alignment all the time in a human existence.
No, that's true. And if you want to stick to that fact, that's like saying you light gasoline on fire. Of course, like, yes, there's going to be out of alignment moments for every human, for sure.
That's literally all I've been saying this whole time.
Okay, great. So then, like, we got to the point where we can get the snippet of, like, you're right.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, but now let's explore that further, because
So I think you are like. Look, I think.
the real cool thing at hand here is not reacting emotionally to the circumstance.
Yeah.
That's been the finite thing, and bringing this back to the holidays, I love how this has just become like a sesh as well, and we're just chopping it up. You know, if your mom is being, you know, that way, that triggers you. It doesn't have to pull you out of alignment.
I think you are being a little bit mean.
Am I?
But it'll ping you.
So
I don't want to give anyone here that because this is what fucked me.
So yeah, please, thank you. Yeah, be honest.
I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I had a first moment of like creating a boundary with my family member, you know, and it was very uncomfortable because I had established a relationship in my younger life with this family member and when I moved away and grew older and changed a bunch, because that's what happens in life,
You become
I
different.
was no longer able to hold that blueprint of that old version of me.
Serve in that capacity.
Thank you. And so the first time, like sort of creating a boundary for myself was great. It felt great for the moment that it was happening. But afterwards, I had to have a huge cry because I didn't want that person to think that my love has changed because of how I'm now changing in my actions and how I'm creating new boundaries.
A little bit mean. A little bit mean. Mean.
Around what this relationship is. So like
Boundaries at Christmas.
growth, yeah, but that was the first step to becoming familiar with how creating boundaries feels like. And then you do it again and you're like, okay, that felt better the second time. But there is feelings along with that. Like you can't just like show up to Christmas dinner being like, I'm aligned. I have my crystals in my pocket. Like no one's gonna ping me. You're still gonna have pings that hit you right like daggers in the heart. And we have to become so hyper aware of that ping in that moment that we can say, it's okay, they didn't mean it. That's
alignment.
That's an old version of them, and they're playing around in this old relationship of us. But I'm new now. But it's still like you're still gonna feel it.
But that thought, as long as that thought is leading, I'd say you're in alignment. Like if that thought remains in your head that goes like, hey, they don't know what they do. Forgive them. Like as long as you're guided and acting with that voice, if you feel closer to that voice, I'd say you're then doing a fine job of staying in alignment or as close to it as possible.
I think it's close too, and maybe this is an interesting thing for me to explore more. I guess my alignment when I feel aligned.
Doesn't mean pure joy.
I'm not sad though. I'm not sad and I'm not hurting. When I feel aligned, my heart, that chest, it's crazy how your heart can hurt.
It's
What's
the area,
up with that?
it's your chest area right here, and you're like,
Yeah.
you feel weaker.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to lift weights, you don't want to do anything.
No.
The fuck?
And so when that happens, I don't often correlate that and alignment. And when I get triggered, I feel that pain.
That's the out of alignment. That is, I think, because we are directly connected. Like our roots, like our trees have roots to the ground. We have source energy coming from, I guess, the sky or the ground or the quantum. I don't know, but like something's feeding our chest
all over
energy. Like it's not just carbohydrates to electricity in your blood to you moving. There's a source energy connection and a psychic kind of connection, and it's probably our other dimensions of us that we just can't see in this like meat sack that only has 6 senses. But that is the 6th sense to kind of remember the energetic realm of vibration.
So I guess, yeah, in those moments where I'm chatting to myself, but I'm still feeling pain, I don't know if it's close.
You're being pulled out of alignment. When you feel that pain, because when you're in that joyful bliss and you just feel like your heart is exploding, expanding, loving, giving, you're powerful, everyone around you is safe because you're so filled with love. Like you're literally, it's pushing, the feeling is pushing into your head and creating good thoughts. That's like true alignment where you're like, that's in alignment with the vibrational frequency of the universe, which is love. It's all just love. So it's alignment with, if you want to know if you're in alignment, finish a sentence, alignment with the universe, which is love. So are you feeling love? But as soon as you're like, I'm in love, I'm cool, or I'm neutral can be in alignment too. Great, all good. Got some turkey out, got some stuffing. Zing zang, fucking bringing up that shit. Oh, wow, yeah, you're right, Mom, Dad, and child support. Let's talk about that right now before we all order our drinks at this restaurant. Awesome. Let's talk about it loud so people around us hear. Great. It happened, right, on my birthday lunch. And I got pulled out of alignment. And instead of reacting now, I don't know what I did then. I probably just battled back. But like now, I would say my intention would to be find alignment before I partake in that conversation at all. And I think that's like the voice you're talking about in your head, like forgive them. This is a very triggering time for them. Imagine the stuff she had to do alone.
Yeah, honestly, that would be the good time to start self-soothing. Take yourself out of
and that's, for me, it's like, I by the grace of God, may stay near alignment.
Yeah.
But I just want to stay near it. And it's like, it's worth it. It's worth doing the mental work to like try and stay close to it. But you're right, it pings. It hurts. And people say shit to you. Like, people will just say shit to you in your life and, like, comment on your rap videos sometimes and say nice things or mean things, and you just got to learn to stomach that.
Yeah.
It's not a fun part, but you're going to have to accept the apologies you're never going to get.
Yes, 100% agree, and it's only beneficial for you if you do that and for us if we do that.
Yes.
But I did solve Christmas a second time around while you were talking about how to get back to love.
Oh, you solved it while I was talking? Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you don't trust yourself, or if you're just feeling low and you have an engagement that doesn't feel like you can get out of it for any reason, microdose mushrooms.
That is actually the key.
That's
That
the key
is
to
the
Christmas, everybody.
That's the key to
Give
Christmas.
yourself between 0.1 and 0.2 milligrams of mushrooms.
Take a gram.
An hour before any engagement.
Get a gram of mushrooms, and it's just like if you don't have the awesome chocolates that we have, shout out Alchemy Gold. But if you have a gram of mushrooms, chop it in tenths, and then just have a little more than that, and
then you'll forget that you took it, and you'll be like, why am I in such
okay?
a good mood today?
Why is everything okay? Like literally, people that usually. I was on mushrooms a little bit when you were at Puff Mama show just recently, and these old ladies had her first walkout and her first negative things ever. I was on mushrooms, and I felt this was happening because I tried to smile at her as she was leaving, and she scowled at me. It's like, you guys, you're too old to probably even be going to the comedy bar because there's stairs. They walked the stairs. They were quite old, but just dressed up, they looked wonderful.
They had on furs,
and they're just from another time.
Their husbands had on suits.
Where women, especially who look so stunning, it's like you shouldn't talk like that. You shouldn't do this. And she got that, but I was a little bit on mushrooms. And I came out, and when he was like, that lady just told me I shouldn't be doing this. And I'm like, what? This is fantastic. Let me get the phone. And I'll put that footage here. And she was complaining at the box office. I followed them up the stairs, and I was asking. And they kind of backed down once I was there. Classic. They're a little softer with the guy. But that was just so funny. And mushrooms helped me just love the shit out of those ladies. I still love those ladies. I had Puff Mama's back. I was a little defensive, but I was a little not defensive, but a little a maitre d', and someone's walking out of a restaurant. Well, we're not wrong. Love you. I had a little bit of that, but I had a little bit of defensiveness also for my wife, but also participating because they're so delusional. How come I can understand that this lady in her whatever 70s is crazy, but someone I'm related to, I take their words so, so it's them, it's oh, you're you told my wife to quit her passion. You're a crazy old bitch. I don't care about you. But if someone said that shit from my family, I would hunt them down verbally. You know what I mean? I care. I get so much more worked up.
Yeah.
But it's I have a great attitude, but then again, I was on mushrooms. Just a little bit of mushrooms. So it's oh, I love you. You're having a reaction. So hopefully that helps in family situations. When you're high on mushrooms, you can just let it go.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't have any mushrooms while I was going through that depression. I don't even think I thought to try.
Your ego takes over.
Yeah,
Your
but
ego won't let you.
I did stay on cannabis, and
that helps.
It really did. It almost kept me from fully leaving the body, because we know that I've done that as well. So it kind of kept me I could still feed the animals and stuff, and I was trying to go for walks and stuff.
I did enjoy the silence we were sharing though the day before. I was this is really healthy. This is good. Next day she has a breakdown. I'm oh, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I was can I have the place? I just need some silence. And I was overstimulated though. We had so many engagements, and I do love it all. When I texted you that I was we've been talking and engaging with a lot of people recently, just through going out and events and friends and
people show up at our door to hang out.
Yeah, it's so nice, and we love it.
We're so grateful.
We're an open door.
We're so grateful.
But I was can I just have the space where I'm not going to turn on the TV. We often have music or some type of audio going in our home too, and I do prefer silence sometimes. And I was this has nothing to do with you. And ultimately it didn't, right? Ultimately it was just me going down a hill emotionally for quite some couple days, and then freaking out and finding excuses to validate why I'm feeling, when really I should have started with I think I might be going into depression. But I just hadn't been depressed for so long. Yay, that's the good news.
Yeah, that's the win.
Is that I didn't even know that it was happening.
But then, like, never lose sight of, like, it's like alcoholics too, right?
Yeah.
Like, never think that you're too good to relapse.
I didn't. I wasn't thinking about it at all because I don't think I'm too good to relapse. It just hasn't literally happened in.
Yeah, it blindsided you for sure.
Yeah.
And it was like the scary thing for me is when folks, like, I definitely grew up with, like, I don't know what my mom is, but it's something. There's some level of
Most of us, I think we can agree that most of us probably have
some
something
condition,
at this point.
some condition, and that sort of depression hurts people around you probably more than the person in the pilot seat, even though it doesn't seem possible because they're going through their own version of hell. But like, it's like very confusing for the person, and I know this is probably cathartic to a couple people listening who, like, you're in a relationship with someone who goes through these things. And I can only imagine sometimes, like, when I'm about to hit myself, what Winnie must feel like. But it's, like, very like you've been deserted or abandoned, or, like, on the way out, they tell you everything that's wrong with you and then just, like, leave you with that because they don't have the capacity to...
I literally, when you were downstairs taking a wee, I was like, you kind of become a dick when you're truly depressed because you don't have the space. You can't even take care of your basic needs.
Yeah.
So you become just kind of like a shitty shell.
So it makes it very hard for the person out, if you can't say, like, if you can't reach through to be like, oh, I'm going through something, or like I remember you were like, I think I'm going into depression again. I'm like, okay, because like I was a little bit like, what? Like, what's happening?
Well, I think even the night before, I was like, just let me be shitty. Like, I need to be shitty.
Okay, yeah, do that. And then, like, I thought maybe you sleep it off, and then it's like it was going even stronger the next morning. I'm like, is this the way things are now forever?
That's what I feel like, too. Trust me, it is worse for me. But
I know, I know that, and we all know that.
It's worse for you too when you're like trying to keep your fist away from your face.
No, I know that, but like it's hard to believe because it's so off-putting for people around because it's like a contrast. Because like I'm fine, like I thought everything was fine, but it turns out like everything is bad, and then it's like. Fuck.
I wanted to say this
that.
during the episode too. It's
So then you start doubting yourself.
The suffering really comes from lack of acceptance in the present moment. And that's where I go downhill real quick because I take inventory of my life and I decide that it's not good enough.
You measure the gap, not the gain. And I love small wins.
Shout out Fat Sound.
Yeah, it changed our life with 10 times, 2 times. I can't remember what I was going to say.
You love a small win.
Mm-hmm. And I find me trying to celebrating small wins as I do. Like, I'll find a loony and like freak out like it's $100 bill, you know what I mean? And then I'll find $100 bill. Like it's crazy. So like I know the secret about like good energy too a little bit, like not to like use it like that, but like might as well be open to something cool happen if you appreciate something cool. So I like really celebrate small wins, and that can often I minimize how much I'd like to express in front of Winnie because I feel like it's patronizing.
Like when I'm in a state?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're sad, or even if we're both just neutral, like it's like I try not to get too excited because I feel like I'm rubbing it in your face because you can't seem to like get there with me.
Same like when I laugh at you and I'm not taking you seriously when you want to be taken seriously for a moment, and you're like, same, totally. I mean, I think that's helpful though. Like if one of us can stay, and sometimes we can't.
But I do think having aptitude to celebrate small wins is a good thing though.
I completely agree.
I really milk it. Like when I'm alone, I like get exceedingly excited for like 5 to 7 minutes.
And that's so good. I don't know if I've practiced like hyping myself up that much. I don't even know if I'm open to it. Like I can't. I don't know the last time like excitement. I don't even really know what that feels like anymore because I think excitement just feels like nervous.
No.
Because
It's happy excitement too.
I know there is, but I think I've kind of molded the two. Like performing and stuff is where I'm the most excited.
Like
But-
happy excited.
But someone could look at it as nervous for sure. Yes, I'm happy about it. I'm excited.
What was the thing you said about feeling gratitude? Like you said you haven't felt gratitude in a while? Like that's so interesting.
Yeah, my gratitude journey this year has definitely been oscillating.
Because I noticed.
But like in depression, let me tell you, it's non-existent.
So if you want to make yourself depression proof, just find a permanent state of gratitude. And if you don't have perspective south, then you can, like, I don't know how to find gratitude because for dreamers, you're always looking up, right? So we're always like kind of thinking like what I don't have, you know, like, oh, I look up. So I want to build that multi-billion-dollar company. And I look at people who have that. And then I'm like, oh, I don't have, like, what a piece of shit I am, right? I don't have a portfolio of 20 M's. I couldn't steal my wife if I wanted to. You know, like, fuck. Like, I better do some shit to make my life better and make me more powerful so I'm more respectable. That's how I feel, generally. And everything I do is, like, on the quest to becoming more valuable to the world. Which is fucked in some way, even though I'm very happy with who I am. But south, you know that friend who I was talking about earlier who came over to my place on Christmas and I had the PS2? Mm-hmm. He's in jail now, like permanently. So like, I'm like, of the people I came up with, not waking up in a cell is great. Like I wake up in our place and that billionaire in me says like, you should have a big house. But then the kid that came up with that kid in me says, you're free. You're free. You can go out. You want to go get a McDonald's sandwich right now? You can do that. Like, holy fuck, son. I made it. Like, even just like the okay people who like I've talked to on Facebook who were like doing okay. Like, oh, I got my real estate license, like living, but I'm not happy. You know, like that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Like, my other homie, I just choose not to get my license to be a badass. He can't drive because it's constant DUIs because he's an alcoholic because he watched his dad be an alcoholic. And I love that guy too, but I'm not that. I don't have a beer belly. I don't drink. Damn. I better be fucking grateful for what I have because that's just you beat the odds and the cards. You were one of the cards in that like 5-10 kids. You beat some serious odds. So like I'm very grateful every day for seemingly nothing. Then add the fact that I can afford a broth. I can walk up and buy myself a $9 broth. Like I made it. And I'm sorry, this literally may sound like bragging. Yeah, I know. But it's dead, so there's something I can do, so I wasn't going to break the thought, but I probably should. So, yeah, I'm very grateful from looking down. But then, yeah, when you look at the people you came up with, they're, like, married to cops and have double income and kids and houses and, like, I get it. When you look around, you're like, I'm the weird black sheep. Like, you know, it's like there's a curse. I think you mocked me the other day when I said, like, not coming necessarily from like higher middle class has actually been a gift to me because of that. That's what I was thinking is like I'm so blessed that I have this option. I have this other option to look at because I've become the person, that exception that's like, you better get that compound or else it's all very step by step in my vision, right? It's like I've locked into this vision and I can't unsee it and I'm just being magnetized there. I'm being pulled there. And every day it's like I like Rubicon should be calling me. Like I shouldn't have to be fucking telling anyone about my events. They should be calling me. Like I want that. Like I'm going to work until I'm so undeniable. They're calling me. You know, so I'm between that gap too. I also live in the gap too, but my gain is like then put you in the mix. I did something right.
Oh.
It's so nice, truly. When I was high on acid with a friend like last week, one of the things that was kept coming in my mind is that we've got to have sex so many times. It's true. It's such a
Told you.
blessing.
That came up in this episode already, right?
What?
You attack me.
Yeah, I do. I think you're very hot. I'm not lying about anything in my life. Like, I don't give compliments for reasons I don't.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I know. I think it overwhelms too. And if I've been sharp, I apologize. I think I am a lot to deal with. And then I'm also just like, you signed up for this.
Yeah, I did. I think we learned a lot along the way that I didn't know about.
Yeah, like you thought I was rich.
Off the top. But, like you thought I was. Oh, boy. Well, this has been fun. Should we wind it down?
I guess so. If you could do a British accent, that'd be great.
Okay. I'd love to do a British accent for you.
No, I thought because you were like,
Ellevan.
should we wind it down?
I had a little bit of an inflection at the top.
You're like Olivia Holland.
That's my main person who have in my life.
Shout out Olivia Holland.
Hot.
It's crazy. You're one of the hottest people we know.
Yeah, she's Kate Beckinsale hot.
Yeah, we know a lot of like famous hot people, but like this is like Olivia. Once you see Olivia Holland, it's a sort of mystique you can't unsee.
Especially in person.
That's what I mean.
Damn.
Honestly, her pictures don't even do her justice.
The Brits have this great way of keeping mystery alive.
Sultry.
Them. I'm like, bleh. Apparently that's a
Me too.
ADHD.
Me too. It's just like, oh, I'll let you know everything right now. Oh.
And now with comedy too, it's like, all my deepest fears, bleh.
And then you ask Olivia Holland a question, and she's just like, yes, maybe. And like, and floats away. She floats away, and you're just like,
yeah, she does. She does float. Like, I can't even remember how she walks because, like, the way that she walks because of how, yeah, you're right.
Olivia, we love you. Send us some
Would
pictures.
be in a throuple with you if you were into it, but
See, she lets me compliment you so much because she also loves you and is probably attracted to you. No, for sure. We'd be in a throuple with Olivia Holland. It's probably the only person. Either that or Will Ferrell.
So Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa.
And call us Olivia. Happy Hanukkah.
We hope that you're taking care of yourselves.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Don't be like this mic stand and get broken.
I've tried. If anyone has a contact at Rode, they don't seem to have their contacts on their website anymore because of how big they are.
You didn't send that yet?
I haven't found a contact.
We love Rode mics, and we just want all matching.
Yeah.
And
So if anyone has
We
a
don't wanna
contact
give you
at
money for
Rode to sponsor the podcast, I'm just putting it out there. I did
We
that
like
with
to talk
something
to
else
Rode.
too. I just throw it on Instagram. Try every which way. So here we are. Thank you for hanging
So
with us.
good.
Happy end of year. Happy winter.
Yeah, happy holidays. We love you guys. We hope that you sent us a gift. And if you didn't, we'll probably think less of you.
We should get on that thing. You know when creators are like, buy me a coffee, and you can submit $5 to.
That's just my PayPal link. It's in the description. Donate here.
That'd be great.
It's honestly, that's the way I roll more so than even like Patreon, where it's like, I know we should get people on a subscription, and we will. We have our thing.
We got
more
you
stoned.
one episode with leather chairs, okay? We
Isn't
deserve
that nice?
$5.
Oh, yeah. Shout out the Saxes for these chairs, the studio.
We saw these and we were like, well, we have to shoot on
We
these.
need these, and that's why we had to make it a Christmas episode.
So also, if someone wants to buy us some leather chairs, so we can.
Generally, we're looking for some executive producers. Ooh, I wanted to ask you a philosophical question too before we go about that, about giving. Does it adjust the integrity of the gift if you watch someone enjoy it, or if that's a demand? Like, I'm thinking about the selflessness of one, when you give, like not telling or also sometimes when you give, not getting the selfishness of like watching someone enjoy it, or you know, when you give a gift and then it's part of it that you want to experience the person enjoying it. Is it any more or less of a selfless gift if you just give it and like go away?
No.
I
don't think so. I think it's an exchange. And so I think that the person giving the gift gets as much as the person receiving it.
Yes.
So I don't think that you have to give something. It's like a little bit different when like creators tape homeless people that they're giving money and stuff to. That feels a little like I like it because I'm like, awesome, thanks for giving this gift or housing or money to someone who's in
Changing this
need.
person's life, yeah.
But that feels a little like, look what I'm doing.
Yeah. Even if it is to like inspire others to give.
That one's tricky for me. That one always feels a little like...
more so like...
I'm just like, don't put them on display. Like, you can video you doing the giving, but don't put this person on display.
Yeah.
Like, they don't deserve
like,
that.
Say, okay, yeah, totally. No, that's like
They didn't ask for
yeah,
that.
that's like double compounding their value from it. I more so was thinking like buy a video game console for a family member, or if I was going to give Paul tickets to something, I also go with him. You know what I mean? Or just giving 2 tickets to some, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or like we play this together. Like if my participation is associated with that gift, is it any less
No.
kind? Like, or if you gave someone 2 tickets to just go enjoy that thing by themselves and a friend,
Yeah.
you think that's equal to like me going with Paul?
Yeah.
Because you're still
There's
gifting.
intention behind
Yeah,
it.
you're still giving that person the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but like when I give a thoughtful gift, because I'm not great at gift giving, I'd like to get better. But when I do think about something where I'm like, oh my gosh, I bet this person would like this.
The affirmation
and then
is I'm currently becoming better at giving gifts.
And then I give that gift. It's really nice to be like, oh, I've known this person for a really long time, and our relationship is so rich that something that I thought would
Inspired thought.
would create joy within them did. And it's a little and on the other coin of that, I can't help but when someone opens it and is like, "Oh, thanks." I'm like, "Oh, fail." You know, like I don't let it like take me down, but it kind of goes both ways.
Huh. What do you mean in the both ways side of things?
Like I let it give me joy if they enjoy it, and I also
yeah.
like let it be a little bit cringe if I feel like, oh, this is not something that they really want.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah, about gifts at all.
Yeah.
So good. Well, I loved this sesh, yo.
I love this sesh too. I forgot how much I love
Just us.
just us. Yeah.
Because I feel like the frequency got better between us. And like
it started good. It got a little intense and weird. Now it's great.
it started good. I think it started shaky. Don't forget, I was like in production mode and
Well, Rob started us off good.
oh yeah, because he brought reflection to you.
Yeah.
Winnie and every married couple is not open to lateral notes. You can't be. It's how you get offended if you get lateral notes. But if someone from outside reflects something to one of you, it's like, whoa, this is the clarity we've been waiting for. Like, I love it.
I think you're exaggerating that a little bit, but I think there are
You're right.
definitely
Sometimes
points.
I take notes. All right.
That's hilarious because that's not true, right? Like with Mitch and like there's been so many times where you like come back from a boy hang and you're like, let me blow your mind right now. And I'm like, okay, cool.
What? What with
It
Mitch?
goes both ways. Just like, I think like,
Blow my mind? Like someone gave me notes and I took them well?
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, and you feel like those are things that you've said to me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I know, but to hear it in a different perspective, what is that? It's like you don't respect each other. You don't really...
You don't want to be wrong. You want to be the right one in the relationship.
But why does that have to be one person right and one person
It's
wrong?
not. I've loved it when I can take feedback from you.
I've loved it when you can take feedback from me too.
This guy. Oh my God, don't look at my Bacardi shoes.
Oh no, but they're Christmas. Why did you have to point out their Bacardi? You could have said Batman and Christmas.
Batman Christmas shoes. Batman Christmas shoes.
This is the camera we're working with now. Okay, love you guys. This has been fun. Those are some Batman Christmas shoes you got.
This has been really fun. And goodbye.
And thanks for joining us on another episode of Disciplined Stoners. I've been your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie,
and we are the gateway drug to mindfulness.
And
later that was good.
Should we do the intro or should it just start the way that it starts?
Oh, yeah, we should do the intro.
Okay.
Do it from here.
Okay.
Just do it like this. Ready?
Yeah.
And welcome back to another episode of Disciplined Stoners. I'm your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie, and we are the gateway drug to mindfulness.
And today, we're chilling in our chairs. It's holiday times. We're bringing the chair like it isn't fair, and we don't have fair, when you know we're here, when we see it clear. Get out of my hair, when we right in there, when I will get bare. I'm not scared to get nude with it. All we need is like 2 minutes. Green chairs, we ain't blue with it. Green hair, and we new with it. Yeah, news did it. We don't watch the news. We the news as we talk to you. When we walking through, I'm obnoxious too. As I talk to you, it's like I got to do something really cool. It's like a different word for a simple color like pamplemousse. That's pink. That's purple. That's both. I go in a circle. What you talking? Gotta come back. Gonna comment on that nice bar of that rap that I had that made her laugh with pamplemousse. Let me touch that ass like Pampers do. Damn it, dude. It's like a headache. It's like incredibly. It's like let it be. It's like Christmas season and the letter B. It comes around twice like the letter C comes around once and you gotta see it's the letter E. No one's better than me. The freestyle king God can be, and it's my birthday on the 24th.
So also give us $5 for that.
Welcome to the episode. Give me $5.
There's going to be a moment where I get weird by myself about my depression, guys. Just move through it with me,
Strap
okay?
in. Strap in. This is quite the... We touch on family matters during the holidays, depression...
Consumerism.
We fight a little bit. This is good shit. I get Mike Tyson
Gift giving.
I talk about friends in jail. I talk about stepmoms, stepdads, gift giving, receiving, not enoughness, abundance.
I stuck mostly to depression.
Enjoy the show.
Thanks for watching.
Welcome to Disciplined Stoners, the gateway drug to mindfulness.
To think that we started this podcast to fight a stigma, only to uncover so much love that we realized that you can't put your energy anywhere but what you want. And what we want is authentic conversation. What we want is quality medicine. What we enjoy is each other.
We get to learn from our guests. Manage the best. I would manifest this.
Part of the magic of the plant is how it uncovers what you've been hiding away.
So much love.
Look deeper. Feel more. Tune in.
So much love.
We're not here to be lazy.
Welcome to Disciplined Stoners,
We're not here to distract ourselves.
the gateway drug to mindfulness.
We're here to learn. We're here to grow.